Hello, my name is Logan Shaw. Welcome to LogansStory. Today we're talking about Deadpool and Wolverine, this next Marvel Cinematic Worldview Commentary. Thanks for coming. Let's get into it. Alright, so Deadpool and Wolverine. How does this movie make you feel? What are the characters going through in this said movie? And how can you relate to the story and characters entirely? See, there's one thing that goes for Deadpool, and that is his tenacity to not give up, as well as his way of saying things in a way that may be discrepancy for other people who are around him. Whether that be his force cohort, Wolverine, or his girlfriend, or anyone he comes into grips with, Deadpool has a loss problem. And he doesn't know where he belongs, where he stands to tests. And that thing can be very hard to come across because at the end of the day, there's two things that come across for this character. And some could say that Wolverine is the saving grace, his partner in crime. Even though Wolverine doesn't want to be that, he ends up being that anyway. And that being said, there's a lot of things that come into grips when talking about a film like this. It's tenacity to show the characters in their roots, the usefulness, the cameos that come across in the film. And everything that comes across in the film seems to be authentic and real, as well as funny and inviting. Sean Levy, the director, wants us to see what it means for Deadpool to have something or someone or a group of people, like a family, in his life. And get this, Wolverine too. But the thing is, what are the nooks and crannies that we can pick out of this? What are the things that we miss, or things that we see, that could lead to a, ongoing detailed realm? Let's go into detail. So, you find yourself lost in a world where you need to be found. Deadpool goes on a search for Wolverine, another worldly Wolverine. Because if you've been following the X-Men trilogy, Logan Wolverine dies. And while there seems to be other universes, multiverses, that show up in the midst of something being lost, there's something that can be found as a result. Thus, another Wolverine. This Wolverine is met with another person that is important to his life. His daughter. And that being as it's so, there seems to be things that cross in it that don't match up. But the thing is, weirdly enough, Wolverine and Deadpool do match up in a weird sense. It's like watching a buddy cop movie, except both of them hate each other. But then, as the movie goes on, they begin to like each other. And they begin to have the family that they always wanted. Wolverine and Deadpool. But the thing is, that's not all across in terms of what we see. Sometimes these things can be hard to realize and, not really easy to come across. Family, I mean, if you don't have one. But they make one. And because of this, Deadpool doesn't feel lost anymore. And Wolverine doesn't feel like he has to roam the earth. And because of these two things, that would lead me into what we're going to talk about next. What does it mean for you and I? Application, of course. Alright, so what do you mean by love? What do you mean by camaraderie? What do you mean by brothers that didn't have the same mother? As the Merc with the Mouth and Logan goes across in terms of many different battles that they have to face at the end of the day, through a theme that's more powerful or more different than Charles Xavier, there's something great about this movie that seemed to be interesting enough, besides the villains and besides the cameos. It's the message. Love. Family. Not being able to be lost in this world. And that's what this movie is really about. The idea of not being lost in the world. A lot of these characters feel lost. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, they take that puzzle piece, they find the missing piece, and they put it there so. So here's the thing. What are you doing to find yourself? What are you doing right now to find what you are and who you are? And here's the thing. Once you find who you are with the right people, you feel more at home than ever before. And you won't feel like you're roaming the earth anymore. Thank you for coming to application. Let's continue forward. Thank you for coming to LogansStory. Thank you for coming to the Marvel Cinematic Worldview Commentary. There are more commentaries in the future, so keep an eye out for those. Also, the mission is 1,000 subscribers. You guys can help me get there by hitting the share, like, and subscribe button right on the screen. Also, hitting that bell. Leave a comment if you can, too. Thank you again, and peace.